Hi, everybody, and welcome to Victory Astrology. My name is Tori Burgess. Hey, how you doing? I'm back. And today I want to talk about the full moon eclipse that's coming up on May 25th in Sagittarius. I felt like I just talked about a full moon eclipse. This is just so odd. And in regards to that, I want to talk a little bit more about eclipses because basically my videos are a teaching mechanism too. So in regards to eclipses, they usually come in pairs. There's usually a full moon one and a new moon one, or a new moon one and a full moon one. But for some odd reason, this time around, basically there's three, which is very odd indeed. And what happened was that we had a full moon eclipse in April, which I spoke about in my last video. And the full moon eclipse briefly represents endings and a culmination, so to speak. And like I said, I spoke about that in my last video. You want to check that out, you can. The new moon eclipse, which just left on May 10th, was in Taurus. And on my website, I talked briefly about that because new moon eclipses have to do with initiations and new beginnings. And people don't have too much of a hard time with that. I focus on full moon ones because people have a hard time with ending situations. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have another full moon eclipse, or you can call it a lunar eclipse, lunar moon, and it's in Sagittarius. So now what does that mean? Well, first of all, this full moon lunar eclipse is going to be influenced by Neptune. And that's the planet that symbolizes inspiration. So the full moon eclipse is going to be a little weird. And Neptune is how we inspire ourselves, or it could be how we delude ourselves, how we engage in telling ourselves things that aren't true, or when we're around people who are lying to us. So we have to be really careful and seek clarity, because this full moon eclipse, especially being in Sagittarius, which is the sign of seeking the truth, urges us to look for clarity. But that's if we want to. So basically, we have to end old ways of thinking. That's what this full moon eclipse represents. We don't want to be fools, do we? Like that transition just said. What the fool believes, he sees. We don't want that. We have to end new ways of thinking, ending our belief system that is obviously getting us nowhere. And another thing we have to do is stop being stubborn and holding on. And again, it has to do with control. Remember the last full moon eclipse had to do with letting go of control. Well, now we have to let go of controlling of what we believe in. What we are believing in is unsustainable. And we can't do that anymore. It's stopping us and it's impeding us in growing and evolving. So we need to become more inspired to new ways of thinking and opening up our mind. So basically, let's give up being stuck in the same old humdrum, same old, way of thinking. Let's stop controlling those thoughts and let's embrace having faith in what's to come. Also, this eclipse has to do with changing our philosophy about life, our own life and, what's going on around us. So some words of wisdom would be, for instance, let it be. Like, let it be, words of wisdom is a great Beatles song, by the way. And another thing we can chant to ourselves is if something's not good for you, then usually it's not, and that something better will come. So again, if it's not good, throw it away, embrace change, open your mind, be more inspired, because when you are, then something else will just flow in, especially when you just empty your mind, something will flow in and something better will come. Now, again, I just want to remind everybody here about the Neptune influence, because you have to be a little careful about this, because we need to ask ourselves when we are being inspired, are we being a little delusional? Are we being enlightened? Are all these like new ideas and dreams coming to us? Do they make sense? Are we being practical? Or are we totally lying to ourselves? So we have to be clear about our inspirations and not too pie in the sky. Strive for clarity and idealism. Idealism is good, but too much is not good. So let me give you an example. For instance, say you're in a job or in a corporation and you see there's a lot of layoffs taking place, but you're stuck in your mind with the idea that, oh no, not my division, nothing's going to happen to me, I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing, because usually out of fear, that's what we do. And we get stuck despite all of the messages coming around us that we can get laid off. And I don't mean to bring this up, but it's the truth, especially what's going on right now. So that's something that we have to stop doing. Instead of like closing our minds, we have to open our minds and see what's around us, and then become more inspired. Perhaps if we see that this is happening in our job, maybe we can start taking some classes. Maybe we should start looking at our finances and maybe doing some better planning. Sorry about that. Those are ways that we can utilize the inspiration, and that's practical inspiration. And this can be in any areas of our life. It could be in a relationship. Maybe we're in a relationship and we're just ignoring the signs and we're too close-minded to see that maybe it's past its sell-by date, or maybe we should do something to, jumpstart the relationship and make it better. Basically, we need to open our minds to new possibilities, and that's what Sagittarius is about. And it's also the sign that represents seeking the truth. So we have to do that now. We have to end believing in things that are like not getting us anywhere. So here's some examples, some other examples of Sagittarius to think about, because these are the energies that's happening. And basically these energies have been going on for the last 4 days, because usually when an eclipse is approaching, 10 days prior to the date and 3 days after is the window of you start feeling, something's got to give, something's coming to a point. So here's some things that Sagittarius represents. It represents your philosophy about life. And maybe at this time, since it's a full moon eclipse, it's not working out for you. So maybe it's time, to change your philosophy. Another thing that Sagittarius represents is broadening your mind. And this could be also through higher education. A lot of times it's time to take up a couple of courses or go back to school. Or sometimes what usually happens, and this has happened to me, which is absolutely fantastic, is that I start to get teachers that come into my life. All of a sudden I'm being taught. And when I say teachers, I don't mean in a classroom sense. I mean, sometimes I could be just having a conversation with somebody. I really don't know them very well. And they might say something to me that just clicks. It's like an aha moment. And it makes me change my worldview about certain things. And a lot of times too, it could be someone from another culture, because when you speak to people from different backgrounds, different religions, they kind of open you up to a different worldview. So it's time to do that now. Time to end your old worldview and open up to a new worldview. The point is to broaden your mind and to ask yourself, are my beliefs old and worn out? Are my beliefs hindering my progress? It's okay to be idealistic and to idealize, but just be a bit practical, because we do have that Neptune influence going on. So we have to, kind of have our feet on the ground. So that's it. That's it for now. And, again, this is Victory Astrology is a teaching mechanism. And I do want to start talking about other things in astrology. Like I mentioned, I wanted to talk about the rising sign, which I will start doing that. But this eclipse just came up upon me out of nowhere. So thank you for watching. And please comment and check out my website down below. It's Victory Astrology. It's down there. And then there's another page that links right to my page that gives a description of what's going to be going on for all the signs for 2013. And remember, the more you know, the more you grow. And I just want to give a shout out to my Twitter buddy that we conversate often. She has a great website. Her website is called The Horoscope Junkie. Sorry, I had to think about it for a moment. A senior moment. The Horoscope Junkie. It's really cool. She features a lot of astrologers on there. And you can get monthly readings and so on and so forth. And if you're watching this, Virgo baby, hi, how you doing? Okay, so that's it for now. And I'll see you soon. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye.